Okay, so we are in the tin shop. Let me put the start of this. And this is where Marlene is doing today. So I'm going to, we're having a tour. All right, she's all put together. There we go.
Okay, well, welcome to Sylvester's daughter's house. I know it doesn't sound like your aunt, but it is your aunt, Marlene. Anyway, Sylvester's daughter, when he was 14 years old, he joined the 1812 war. And he was only 4 feet high. I love this part. He had blonde hair, blue eyes. And he was so little, he became a drummer. And at that time, then he was a musician after a drummer. He graduated. Anyway, after the war, he received property from the government because he was in the war. And at that time, then he met his true love when he got home. And her name was Charity. And Sylvester and Charity had one little girl named Mary. And they went with the Saints to Kirtland, then to Far West, and then here to Nauvoo. This is a picture of the home that it looked like when they first came to Nauvoo, when we bought it. Not when they came, but when we bought it. He lived in a log cabin here on the property, and then he built this nice place. Do you want to hear about this little bucket?
Yes.
This is how they caught their mice. The mice would climb up here. They would have some food here. They would go to reach the food and fall in the bucket of water. That's how they caught the mice in the 1840s.
I bet it would still work today.
This is a fly catcher. The flies, you put honey on the cork, and then the flies would fly up the hole, and they would get the honey, but they were too stupid to know how to fly back down the hole to get out. So that's how they caught the flies. And a lady in Taiwan was here, and her daughter was interpreting for her, and she told her daughter to tell me that they still use these now in Taiwan to catch flies in their homes. Interesting,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty cool.
This is the beautiful weather vane. It was the Sylvester's daughter and other tinmen. They had an organization, and they made the weather vane for the temple, and they coated it in gold. So it was probably like gold leaf that they did. They don't know what happened to the weather vane, but it disappeared somewhere. I think this is an interesting stove here in his shop. It's called the butterfly stove, and it opens on both sides, kind of like butterfly wings. Tinsmiths, they were happy to see peddlers, because peddlers for 150 years paddled up and down the Mississippi and on the land, selling their wares. One thing that was so popular was when they came up with tin. Tin bucket, like you see here, is easier, lighter, more economic than the wood. The wood down there is heavy, and after a while, the water would leak out of the side of the wood, and also the wood would swell with the water. So, is there anything else in this room that you would like to know about? I would be happy to tell you. If not, we'll go into the next room, and in the next room, I will quickly show you how to make a bowl.
Because I came at closing time, kids. I came right when she should get to go home and do other things. Now we're in the tin shop.
We'll see it home. Okay. This is Sylvester's daughter's tin shop.
You need to make sure she locks the door. But
Okay.
You
I
have
will
to check it.
lock it.
I know you will, but I'm supposed to check it, so I'm making her do it.
I'll be your
Okay,
double
she'll
checker.
check it. Okay, so he was special because he made his own patterns. just like God gives us patterns in our lives, so Sylvester's daughter made patterns. And then what he would do is he would, this is boring, but anyway, this is really boring. Anyway, but he would cut out the tin, and we're not allowed to touch any of these things. So he would cut out the tin because he wanted to make a bowl.
You're touching.
With a pattern. There's a couple things I can touch. Anyway, to make the sides to stick, he would have to,
Have a lip.
they would use this machine and it would crimp it, and then they would use here 2 parts tin, 1 part lead. And then they would take a hot iron over here in the stove and seal it. That's how they seal the tin. They would do the same thing. They would crimp the bottom. They would crimp the top. They would put the wire to make it smooth. And then they would wind it on the machine. Anyway, so you ask yourself why they have this on our cans today. Well, the reason is they use this machine here. They make it makes the cans stronger. And so that's why they put the ripples in it. As you look around here, you see lots of tin things, and it was very profitable for them. And they made their own lanterns for individual families, and they had different designs. So you could tell whose family's coming up the lane by the design of the light that went out of it.
Of those?
Those 2. That one on top is an oven, reflector oven. So you stick that in front of your fireplace to reflect the heat. Anyway, so that's all she said, folks.